Yo, what's up, YouTube? I'm trying not to be too loud. It's like 3 in the morning, and so I don't want to be too loud. But welcome to Street Boxing Self-Defense. Just want to give you a little bit of information. This is my first video, so hope you stay tuned and watch it, and hope the channel gets a lot of viewers and help a lot of people just understand different things. What I want to do on this channel is just really explain a lot of things through showing videos and different situations of basically street self-defense situations. We're going to be going over like theory versus practicality. It's going to be a big thing. Theory is what should happen, what could happen, what's supposed to happen. Practical is actually what does happen. We're going to be going over like fake versus real. What I mean with that is, if you watch a video, you can pretty much tell if it's like set up, if it's a real fight, something like that. Realistic versus illusion, that's going to cover pretty much what's real and what's in your head. I was watching a video yesterday and was looking in the comments, and this guy, he said that his mom's friend, she had, taken a martial art, was real confident in her martial art, and she gets mugged, and it was real sad that these muggers ended up, taking her life because she fought back and she thought she was prepared. So that's realistic versus illusion. Like, we don't want an illusion of this fake idea of, what we're capable of. We want to know what we're capable of. Okay, so we want our confidence to come from, like, be real and not an illusion. And then I'll also be covering us versus other martial arts. So street boxing, self-defense versus all different types of martial arts, including self-defense. Self-defense will be its own martial art, but it seems in the self-defense world, which I think is pretty horrible. I really hate the self-defense world, even though that's kind of what I'm doing. But the core of our program is punching, is boxing, head movement, and having a lot of power to end a threat. Like, just hands are faster than anything else, and it's proven that boxers are the hardest hitters in the world. They punch harder than anybody. So let's get a lot of power, let's punch hard, let's end threats, let's end fights, let's not fight. That's the goal. If we're in a situation, a self-defense situation, let's just get out of it as quick as possible. But if it comes to where we don't have any tools and we're empty-handed and we have to fight, the best thing to do is have power in your hands. So saying that, back to the self-defense thing, self-defense will be considered its own martial art. But again, everybody tends to have their own spin on self-defense. So I come up with this system when I ask myself what I wanted to do, what I wanted to accomplish. I myself have about 20 years of martial arts experience. I started out in MMA, and everything has circled around. I've done a full circle in my journey, my martial arts journey. I remember my very first couple lessons. I'm learning, the jab, the cross, the hook, the uppercut, and that was like the first 4 punches I learned. I was in a street fight. It could have been avoided, but I was in a street fight 3 months after starting MMA, and this guy was wanting to fight my cousin, and I stepped up and said, nah, I got it, big cuz. He was my big cuz, my idol. So I was in my 20s, and I absolutely wrecked this guy. Hit him with 3 punches, and then a knee, and then got on top of him, hit him with a few more punches. It just wrecked him. His face was just destroyed. And I've not been hands-on with somebody since then. Been in, face-to-face with a lot of people since then, a lot. But people tend to they get in front of me and they never swing, they never do anything. And I think a lot of that comes from my confidence, a lot of that comes from the way I stand, the way I look, my tone, my inflection. So I'm going to cover a lot of that stuff too. We don't want to fight, but sometimes we have to hold our ground. Sometimes we can't run. You know, self-defense guys, run, 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 run. Why do you have any self-defense course or art if your whole thing's run? Let's just teach people to run a marathon. You know, let's teach people to sprint. You can't always run. You might be in a subway, you might be in a bus, you might be in a situation where your daughter's over here playing and you can't get away. Whatever the case, running's not always viable. So running's kind of common sense, but yeah, you always want to look for an exit strategy. But again, we're going to cover different martial arts and just compare these different martial arts to us. But when I look at practicality, you can see hundreds of videos where people, the number one thing that ends fights, ends threats when you're empty-handed is punching somebody in the jaw. It ends fights more than anything. So we're not theoretical here. We are 100% practical. This is what works. We also have a sport that proves it works to help our techniques to see actually what works and what doesn't work against people who can actually take a punch and people who have power. So we have boxing as a sport, and we also see that happen more in the street than anything else. People get punched in the face. Hands are quicker, and if you get power in your hands and you hit a regular person, it's just game over. I mean, a regular person cannot take a punch. I mean, a lot of people don't understand this, but when you get power in your hands, a regular person will not be able to take it. And that's what we work on at street boxing, self-defense. We work on power. Of course, you need accuracy, time, and speed, distance management, and all that. But we focus on power, okay? And then work the other things in as we go. I've done a lot of martial arts. I started out in MMA. In my MMA class, I learned, jiu-jitsu, a little bit of wrestling, learned some Tang Sudo. I think it's a form of Taekwondo. One of our instructors taught. One of my instructors was a karate guy. Actually, two of my instructors were karate guys. We brought in Muay Thai guys. We went to Krav Maga gyms. We learned a lot of stuff. And I started out, my first martial art I ever tried was Aikido. So never try Aikido. It's pretty useless. And, any Aikido practitioners, anybody that does anything's better than nothing. Okay, so if you're doing Aikido, then great, you're doing something. So that's better. I'm not trying to knock anything. I'm just trying to keep the realistic versus the illusion, the practical versus the theory. Let's not be theoretical. Let's do what we know works. And that's what street boxing self-defense is about. Like, let's do what we have more video footage of, what we know actually works, and that's punching somebody in the jaw. If we have no weapons, no tools, it's just these hands. I see a lot of self-defense guys use these hands. And I've been through different self-defense arts like Jeet Kune Do, Wing Chun, and a couple others like modernized kind of Wing Chun, Jeet Kune Do stuff. And I've been into the open hand world. And I'm telling you, when you jam a finger, it doesn't feel good, dude. Like you're like sitting there trying to hold it back, the pain. Let's close. These are little bitty bones, man. They break real easy. I see all these guys, man. They want to use all their fingers all the time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and scrape somebody's eyes. Blah 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 blah. If you just knock somebody in the jaw, it's game over. You don't have to do that crap. People cannot take a punch, and if they can, then you're gonna hit them again. They're gonna hit the ground. So this is protecting all of our small bones. We want to harden these big knuckles. We'll make these hard like iron. I did that when I first started martial arts. I just beat the bag and beat the bag and beat the bag bare knuckle before class. And I made my bone density, my skin tissue, everything it was so hard. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. And that's something I also work on is bone conditioning. You have to condition these bones. We're not super big. Elbows could be useful. So street boxing, self-defense. Boxing's like 75%, but we do cover, elbows, maybe some knees, different things. But, you condition this bone. you know, condition, you know, these bones. I even condition these, even though I don't hit with these. I condition them just in case my punch is off. I don't want to break my little bones. How many people do you know? I don't know. I know a few who's punched something and they have issues with these bones. They're either deformed or, you know, they have problems with their hands because of these two bones right here. So that right there, you want to hit with the big knuckles, of course. This is what tears stuff, rips stuff up. That's like a knife when you hit somebody with it. But anyways, this is street boxing self-defense, and thank you for watching this video, and we're gonna put out some good content in the future. Thanks.